I try to learn something or pick up a new skill, one thing that I found helpful for me was to take a look at someone who's already kind of mastered that skill and see if there are things that I can learn from what they're currently doing that I can kind of incorporate into my own routine. Not exactly to copy verbatim what they do, but to just kind of take small pieces of it and try it for myself to see if it's helpful. In rock climbing, the obvious person to look at is of course Adam Ondra. He's widely considered to be the best climber in the world, and for good reason too. He's climbed some of the hardest stuff outdoors, and he's consistently dominated in a lot of the indoor competition events. So I took a look at some of his training videos, some of the interviews that he's done where he's talked in depth about how he does his training. In this video, I'm going to share 4 tips and lessons that I've learned from studying Adam. The first one is to try really hard. If you take a look at any of his training videos, you can kind of just see it in his face that no matter what exercise he's doing, he's always giving it his 100%. Like when he falls off the wall, he's like screaming in anger, but I mean, he lets it go, but of course, but it just shows you how much of himself he's throwing into every single exercise when he's training. So this is something that I've been slowly trying to incorporate into my own practice, and it's something that's actually pretty hard to do. Trying hard, I think, is a skill that you have to work on, just like anything else. And what I found helpful for me was to just make sure before I start any exercise or start any climb that I set the intention that I'm gonna try really hard on this boulder, and to actually really zone in and focus. I think at first it's gonna be a conscious effort, but the more that I'm able to practice this, the more it just becomes a subconscious, like ingrained part of me. Tip number 2 is to make noises when you climb. Adam is not exactly the most quiet person when he climbs. He's known to scream and make a lot of noise whenever he's doing really hard moves. And there is actually science behind what he's doing. So there was a study in 2014 by the National Institute of Exercise Science. I'll link the study in the description below. But what the study did was they took 2 groups of participants and they had them do a grip test. And the first group was instructed to make some noise when they did the test, and while the second group was told to just exhale. And the first group, who actually vocalized while they were doing the test, was able to produce 25% more power than the control group, who didn't make any noise, while the group who just did an exhale produced about 11%. So this might not be the most comfortable thing for you to do at the gym, especially if you're more of a quiet and shy climber and you don't like people looking at you when you climb. But I've tested this out also when I try to climb. And especially for the really hard move, I actually found that is extremely helpful to actually make the noise as you're going for the move. So just try it out, see if this works for you. Tip number 3 is to have a lot of variety in your training. So he'll often say in his interviews that no 2 of his training routines are the same, and he likes to add a lot of variety into his workouts. So for example, when he's doing the campus board, he never does the same exercise twice. So he'll sort of mix it up with a variety of exercises, like he'll do some campus ladders followed by some double dynos, uneven grip pull-ups, and then even just campusing on different sizes and different types of rungs. And I think this is also helpful for when you're doing workouts like pull-ups, for example. Instead of just doing regular chin-ups, you can try to mix in some wide grip, maybe some narrow grip and uneven grips. And I think the benefit to varying the types of exercises is that you're always keeping your body guessing, and that way you can kind of get the strongest adaptations possible. And in testing this out in my own training routines, I have felt a noticeable difference, especially in how sore I get the next day, because if I'm just doing a single exercise, my body kind of grows and adapts to that. But if I'm doing a ton of different exercises, kind of going at my muscles from all different angles, I feel like I get a much better workout. So I think this is worth a try. Maybe just try mixing it up in your own workout routines, especially for the more monotonous type of workouts. Tip number 4 is to prioritize quality over quantity. So this is kind of in line with like always trying really hard, always giving it your best, but it also kind of applies to more of the duration of your session. So Adam says he likes to keep his sessions short. So whenever he starts noticing that the quality of his movements start to drop, where he's not being able to try quite as hard, he'll kind of just end his sessions early. I've definitely been working this into my own training routines also, and I felt like it really helped, especially with the recovery aspect. Because I think when you try to go for a longer session, like a 3 or 4 hour sessions, some of the stuff that you're trying to work on, the adaptations that you're trying to get for your muscles, like endurance, power, or strength, those are usually achieved within like the first hour and a half. So for the rest of the workout, you're sort of just digging yourself a deeper hole for recovery the next day. So when I switched it up and I sort of just kept my sessions to an hour and a half, but also really giving it my 100% in those hour hour and a half sessions, I felt like I got the most benefit from those sessions, and then also I was able to recover a lot faster. So before, I would try to do 3-hour sessions back to back, and by the third day, my body would just be completely wrecked. But if I instead split up the sessions, maybe do an hour, hour and a half in the morning, and then another hour, hour and a half in the afternoon, I'm able to go like 3 or 4 days in a row. I think the midday recovery that you get between sessions allows you to get the most benefit from your workouts, but also minimize the recovery for your body, because you're not exhausting your body after each session. So those are the 4 lessons that I learned from watching Adam. I plan to make more of these videos in the future where I kind of take a look at other top climbers and see if there are lessons that I can extract and share with you guys. So if that's something that you're interested in, please consider hitting subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.